Please subscribe.
As drivers fill their carports with hybrid SUVs rather than cars, the 2019 Chevrolet Equinox stands out for its surprisingly wide lineup. With the 2019 Equinox, Chevrolet offers customers a decision between two gas motors, a high-mpg turbodiesel motor, front-to-rear all-wheel drive, and 4 trim levels. That profundity and broadness isn't the main thing we like about the Equinox, however. This hybrid SUV scores 5.5 out of 10 points on our scale for its great looks and refined air. Its inside could be more tasteful, however, and we flaw Chevy for not making propelled security gear all the more generally accessible. Following an upgrade a year ago, the 2019 Equinox Edition's refreshed infotainment programming for its 7.0 and 8.0-inch touchscreens and an accessible HD rearview camera. The Equinox is accessible in L, LS, LT and Premier trim levels, with numerous alternative bundles and motor decisions. The Equinox is firmly identified with the GMC Terrain, however it has its own styling and most models have an alternate program transmission. Underhood, a 170-drive, 1.5-liter turbo 4 is standard. It's combined to a 6-speed programmed. The Terrain utilizes a 9-speed programmed with that motor. Discretionary on LT and Premier trims are 2 overhaul motors, a 2.0-liter turbo 4 appraised at 252 horsepower snared to a 9-speed programmed, and a 1.6-liter turbodiesel 4-chamber/6-speed programmed blend with only 137 horsepower that is useful for up to 39 miles per gallon on the thruway as indicated by the EPA. Most trims are accessible with either front-to-rear all-wheel drive. The Equinox drives well, with great separation from the street and an agreeable ride, however even the 252 horsepower motor is light on rushes. A lively hybrid much the same as the Ford Escape and Subaru Forester XT, the Equinox isn't. For most purchasers, that is presumably fine and dandy. Inside, the Equinox gives great space to 4 travelers and their load and useful if not lavish arrangements. Outward vision is certifiably not a solid suit given its muscular rooftop columns, yet the current year's new HD rearview camera may help amend that. On the tech front, the Equinox scores high for its standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto similarity. Tragically, Chevy confines programmed crisis braking which currently can recognize and brake for errant walkers to just the most elevated trim levels. Numerous opponents make that apparatus standard or if nothing else undeniably increasingly moderate. Regardless of whether impact evasion tech is limited to exorbitant Equinox hybrids, all have performed well in both government and free accident tests. The 2019 Chevrolet Equinox has wonderful bends from most points, however a few characteristics to its styling all around imply that we figure it's simply better than expected by and large. It's a 6 out of 10 in our eyes for its styling. In advance, the 2019 crossover wears a wide, 2-layered grille flanked by one of 3 front light sorts, incandescent lamp on base L and LS trims, HIDs on the Equinox LT, and LEDs on the exorbitant Equinox Premier. Those lights clear into a stunning side that gives a false representation of the Equinox's 2-box profile. It's at the back that things begin to self-destruct with an upstanding look that feels more minivan than hybrid to us. Equinox hybrids with the updated Turbo 4 motor component, a couple of chrome-plated uncovered fumes outlets, an unpretentious update that they're peppier. Venture inside through particularly wide front and back entryways and the Equinox uncovers an awe-inspiring dashboard that is intelligently masterminded. Not at all like the Terrain's transmission catches, the Equinox utilizes an ordinary switch and it's everything the better for it. Fixated high on the dash is a 7.0-inch touchscreen for infotainment on generally models. A 8.0-inch variant goes ahead. The Equinox Premier is at work. Contingent upon the trim level, Chevy offers various inside conceals running from workaday dark fabric to power outage charcoal to warm darker calfskin. With 3 motors on offer, the 2019 Chevrolet Equinox hopes to have something for everybody. It nearly succeeds, and models with a 2.0-liter turbo 4 would win a point better than expected for their solid quickening. In any case, our scale remunerates the models in all likelihood found on seller parcels, so the Equinox scores a 5 out of 10 here. Most Equinox hybrids utilize a 1.5-liter inline-4 evaluated at 170 pull and 203 pound-feet of torque that sends capacity to the front or every one of the 4 wheels by means of a 6-speed programmed. This arrangement is superbly sufficient for most use, with great move quality and a lot of around-town hurry. Those keen on more push ought to settle on the 2.0-liter Turbo 4 accessible in the LT and Premier trim levels. With 252 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque on tap, the greater Turbo 4 once-in-a-while battles. Its 9-speed program can appear to be befuddled by the quantity of machine gear pieces accessible. Try not to anticipate that the most dominant Equinox should be a games vehicle elective. In any case, like the remainder of the lineup, its taking care of is great, with certain guiding and a supple ride, yet it's no sportier. Prone to be uncommon on seller parts, at any rate except if gas costs spike, is the turbodiesel alternative. The 1.6-liter turbodiesel's 137 horsepower may sound feeble, yet the 240 pound-feet of torque that goes ahead at 2,000 revolutions per minute conveys better than average execution. The diesel choice might be frugal. The EPA says it's useful for 32 miles per gallon joined, however it's not without its bad marks. For one, towing limit is only 1,500 pounds contrasted with 3,500 pounds for the 2.0-liter gas motor, which deletes one ordinary purpose behind purchasing a turbodiesel. In addition, the alternative expenses $2,400, which will set aside a long effort for even whole-deal drivers to recuperate. Despite motor, the Equinox has a calm, formed ride and its guiding is light however precise. In our testing, we've discovered that models with the 17-inch wheels enclosed by Michelin Elastic L, LS, and most LTs can feel a little squirrely when pushed. The 18-inch Hankook tires on high-spec models convey crisper taking care of with no observable disadvantage to the manner in which the hybrid rides. No Equinox is prepared for rough terrain use past a trundle-up-and-earth carport, which makes its low-maintenance all-wheel drive framework a head-scratcher. The framework can be set in 2-wheel drive mode to spare fuel, which appears to be pleasant. However, drivers should then make sure to flip it back to all-wheel drive when the snow flies or the downpour drops. For asphalt-arranged hybrids, for example, the Equinox, we incline toward less difficult frameworks that distinction the back wheels naturally and don't require driver mediation. A year ago's update contracted the Equinox to more readily contend with hybrids, for example, the Honda CR-V and Ford Escape. That implies this model isn't as large inside as it once might have been. The trade-off is that it's increasingly agile to drive and fits better in carports and, at any rate, Chevy vendors will cheerfully sell the bigger Traverse or the recently reported 2019 Blazer. We rate the 2019 Chevrolet Equinox at 6 out of 10, giving it a point better than expected for the manner in which most forms oblige front-situate inhabitants. Shop astutely, however, the base Equinox L and LS trims have a driver's seat that is not tallness customizable. Those arrangements are likely uncommon on vendor parcels, however, and the Equinox LS with the modest convenience package subs in a 8-way control driver's seat that is standard on the remainder of the lineup. The front seats offer great help, are sufficiently supported, and offer awesome entrance and departure. We miss the old Equinox's valuable sliding second line, yet the back seat has great space for 3 side-by-side after all other options have been exhausted, regardless of whether its bed is somewhat level and its entryways shockingly wide for tight parking spaces. Load utility remains an Equinox resource. The two-piece back seat back folds to develop payload space from about 30 cubic feet to 63.5 solid shapes, and a moderately high window line implies it's anything but difficult to stack bags without obstructing the view toward the back. No Equinox feels particularly dressy inside, however materials are sufficient at the costs Chevy charges. The standard material seats have an extreme, strong feel that makes them engaging. Just the Equinox Premier incorporates cowhide upholstery, which knocks the cost of section to about $32,000. Crash analyzers state the 2019 Chevrolet Equinox holds up well in an effect, yet disgrace on Chevy for making tech that would keep away from those knocks an exorbitant choice. We rate it at only 5 out of 10. Giving the 2019 Equinox a point for a 5-star by and large score from the NHTSA, and after that deducting its since programmed prices breaking out, not expect purchasers to spend upward of $34,000. The NHTSA says that the Equinox held up well in its testing with a praiseworthy 5-star rating generally. The S concurred, scoring Chevy's reduced hybrid SUV with great evaluations in each test. The main thing keeping it away from a top safety pick grant is its headlights, which evaluated minimal, paying little respect to bulb type. The range-besting Equinox Premier comes standard with vulnerable side screens, which are discretionary on the LT and not accessible on the L and LS trims. Discretionary just on Equinox LT and Premier trims, and packaged in costly bundles is a suite of innovative security rigging including low-speed programmed crisis braking with person-on-foot identification, dynamic path control, versatile journey control, programmed high-pillar headlights, and versatile voyage control. Contenders, for example, the 2019 Toyota RAV4 and 2019 Subaru Forester come standard with significantly further developed rigging, for example, full-speed programmed crisis braking. Most different opponents make such significant well-being tech accessible at a progressively sensible cost. From the start, the 2019 Chevrolet Equinox's wide lineup can scare. Parse it down through a couple of mixes, in any case, and this hybrid offers a great deal of vehicle for the cash. We rate it a 6 out of 10, granting it a point better than expected for its extra-large screen and complete infotainment framework, and it barely misses another for its moderately high level of adaptability. The Equinox L stays the lineup, yet it's just accessible with front-wheel drive and a decision of when